So today I wanted to take some time to do this video about vending machines, okay? So I constantly get asked about, investment opportunities. I invest in real estate. I am going to start doing ATMs at some point. There's some other product lines. Obviously, I do stocks and things like that, like most people do. Um, but obviously, there are other ways of investing, and I do teach those kind of strategies. And people usually have come to me in the past asking particularly about vending machines. So I did have vending machine business at a point, myself and a partner, and I just wanted to give a candid review of my experience with vending machines. So I'm a little hesitant the way I'm talking about it because I want to make sure I'm not discouraging anybody or saying it in a way that makes people think it's a bad investment. Guys, I'm a numbers person. So no matter what you're getting into, take advice, research, but also run the numbers, okay? Don't get into anything just because somebody tells you it's a good opportunity. Don't get into anything just because somebody says it worked for me. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't tell the full truth about how much work it takes, what they had to do, and how much they had to be involved with a business. So to me, personally, I'm talking about it from the perspective of vending machines being a passive income stream, okay? Passive income stream, if you don't know what that means, meaning that I'm not involved in the business, not my day-to-day thing. I can make money in my sleep, basically, okay? Now, this is two things, okay? It is a passive income stream, right? Because I don't have to be there for it to be making money. However, there is work that I have to do if I decide not to hire somebody to do that work because of the cost benefit analysis, okay? So let's get right into it. And I'm actually going to try to give you guys a scenario and maybe write it up on the board, like kind of cut this video. We'll just kind of do like a whole thing on the board because I want you guys to really see how the numbers work out. I think when people look at stuff, sometimes they just look at the revenue coming in and don't look at how much you're putting in. You have to also remember your time is an investment. So if you have to put your time into the business, that is money as well, okay? Because maybe you could have been doing something that would have made more sense. So sometimes things like this might make sense for somebody who has a lot of investments, and this is just an additional one. So they're not looking to make a certain amount of money from it, like crazy money. Anyways, they're not looking at it as like a full-time job or a full-time gig. So it really depends on how you're looking at it. There are ways that you can definitely make a lot of money with it, and there are ways that you can definitely be a little stressed out and not want to do it. That was my experience. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So we bought a vending machine business in we started looking at it in February of 2018. So my partner found somebody, I think he was on some website, found a woman who was selling it. Said, oh my God, such a great opportunity, let's buy it. I said, well, can I see the profit loss statement? And he had no idea what I was talking about. Okay, this lady had just like sold him this great dream, which is her job, right? She's a seller. She's trying to sell her business. Sold him this huge dream, was like, oh yeah, like I'm making this much money from it, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I had really been trying to get him to get into like a business mindset and wanted to invest in a business. So I also wanted to encourage it, but at the same time, I want to do something that's going to make money if I have to put my personal funds in it, So I asked for the profit loss statement. He asked her. Guys, a profit loss statement is basically showing all the profit, all the losses. Expenses should be on there, revenue streams, everything. It's basically a really good one-stop shop to see the financial health of your business. If you do not know how to read a profit loss statement, if you've never seen one, become acquainted. I actually will do a video on reviewing and how to read your profit loss statement, okay? Anybody who expects to be or who is a CEO, a president of a company, if you can't read your profit loss statement, I don't know what to really think about you, okay? Because you probably are putting out some money that you don't know you're putting out. To me, you don't have a good sense of your financial health. It doesn't matter, guys, if you have a great accountant, you have a great bookkeeper, you have a great that does not matter. Your profit loss statement is something that you as a business owner is your one-stop shop to know what's going on at all times, okay? Everything else is just details, which yes, your bookkeeper, your accountant, whoever should be dealing with. But that's the one thing you have to consistently review at least on a monthly basis, especially if you have a really high risk or high money involved or high debtor type of business, okay? So she sent the profit loss statement. I was able to see what the revenue was monthly, but also see what she was putting into the business in terms of having to buy these items. Because guys, think about it. You have to buy the items, okay? They don't come with a thing, right? So you have to buy the items. You have to stock the items. You have to drive there with the items. You have to take the time to put the stuff in the items. Put the items in there. And most of the time, you probably have to go there twice a week if you have a really good location where it's busy. And if it's not that busy, maybe once a week. So for us, we bought it from her. She already had the vending machines in a location. She had 6 of them were in a like nursing home rehab center. So it was like a long-term care rehab / nursing home. A lot of elderly people, right? So we had 6 of them there already. So that was pretty good, right? So we already have a location. So it's making money. There's cash flow immediately. So that's positive. That's one thing you need to look at, okay? Is do you have to source the location? Because you have to if I had to take 6 of them, put them in storage or have them in storage and transfer the storage to me, and then go ahead and shop around for a location, that could take months, okay? That could take a long time. And then that means I'm coming out of my pocket while not making any money. Okay, so you have to think about that is a big part of it. For me, I would not have, I hardly want to do it anyways, but I definitely would have not gone with it if they did not already have a location that was making money. The next, then we had one standalone in a assisted living community. So the 6 that we had at the nursing home place was making about $600 a month. But there was a few things, okay? It took a lot of time to stock those things. Like literally, it would take like 3 to 4 hours to stock 6 machines, okay? And you have to be there twice a week. It was a lot. It's not something that I want to do. Not something I'm interested in, honestly. I hated it. I hated having to spend 3 to 4 hours stocking some damn vending machines. And I would say that he took on most of that duty, but the days that I had to do it too, or the ways I had to do it because he couldn't, it was just like so much and it was just so annoying. And then if you don't put things in the right way, then they can get stuck and then you have to come out because you have to get it fixed. And remember, the location is not dealing with any of that stuff. You have to come and get somebody to fix it if there's something wrong with it. They're going to call you. They want their money back. They didn't get a refund. They have to get from you. Like it can get really, really, really irritating. Okay, it can get irritating. But on the flip side, that's not very different though from being a landlord, right? But the only difference is that a landlord, you're probably bringing in a little more money, and even if you give it to a property manager, you're probably still making out a lot better. So that was one thing that was kind of annoying. Second of all, so there's different models for how you can be having to like pay the location for being in their location. Guys, think about this as rent. Like you're renting some square footage of their property and you're not paying direct rent. So you can either do a percentage of gross sales, so like almost like a commission that you would give them, because this is a good revenue stream. So when you're even talking about it, if you don't have a location and you're trying to get somebody to come on board, this is a great way to explain to them as an additional revenue stream that they don't have to do anything for. I mean, imagine you have a nail salon or something and you're like, hey, I'm going to bring, it's similar to ATMs. I'm going to bring this ATM or this vending machine in here. You don't have to do anything. You're going to make 7% off of off of the total gross sales per month. That's a pretty good deal. They don't have to do anything. So that's basically one of the selling value propositions that you can present to a location that you might want to bring your vending machine into. So going along with that, that's one model. Another model is you don't pay anything. But instead of paying something, they do a price cap. That's what we had. So we didn't have to pay them anything. And in fact, which was another thing, guys, there was no contract in place when we got there. And so I was really, really uncomfortable with that. Because there was no contract in place when I got there, they could have technically told us, we don't like you guys. I mean, we like this other lady we were working with. That's why we worked with her. Take your shit and go. They could have really done that. And luckily they didn't. The guy was really nice and he was open to us taking over. And I had the most contact with him. So I was kind of like the business mind with the business. And my partner was the one who really did the filling up of things and all of that. But because of that, we had to cap the amount because they didn't want their residents to have to pay a whole bunch of money for chips or for a Snickers bar or whatever. Meaning that, guys, they wanted premium items, but we had to sell them for like $1 or $1.25. I think the most expensive we could sell something was like $1.50. Now, once in a while, they'd be okay with me, with us selling stuff for maybe $2 if it was like a premium type of item, meaning like it's a sandwich, it's a ramen, something like that, like real food that they would have. But those would be in the staff lounge, not for the residents. So, guys, it got to a point where, I mean, just looking at the cost of things, because a lot of times you're buying things from Costco or Sam's, you know, from not wholesale, sorry, from in bulk, so that you can, you know, save money. It takes time to source the stuff, to go in there and say, this is what we need to refill, right? So that takes time. And then to go in there and know that you can only charge $1 or $1.25 for something that really should probably be more than that, or 75 cents. I think the candy could only be 75 cents. And then the chips, I think, couldn't be more than $1. So yeah, it was kind of difficult, and we're putting in good stuff, you know what I mean? And we could not charge what we wanted to charge. So that was kind of frustrating. Another thing, of course, is the kind of place that we were in, there's liability. So we had to be careful and make sure if we had any, you know, sandwiches or anything like that that didn't expire, we just, you know, eat. So if we didn't sell them, we just had to throw them away, because there's a whole bunch of old folks here, you know, they're regulated by the state. If someone gets sick or anything, that could be not only liability on the location, that could be liability on us. And not only will we get booted, we could get sued. And while I always suggest that, you know, business owners have business insurance, we at that time did not. So that could have been really, really detrimental to us if something had happened. So guys, like I said, $600, like about every month after expenses, which, you know, is not, sorry, it was not the worst. But then you also have to remember, guys, the time that it takes. Then also, we had a loan out for this stuff. It was $18,000, I believe, to buy all 6. So that was a pretty decent deal. They were very brand new. Like she had really, really good like merchandise and equipment, or sorry, equipment I should say. But again, it is a loan that we have, and then the loan had to be paid, and it was really high. So that was taking up a portion, but that's fine, because at least if I can know in 2 years I'm going to start making $600 outright, that's a little different. But in the beginning, it's a little bit, it's kind of a lot. So it was that, and I put in $2,000 of my own money, cash. So all in all, I would say personally, if I could have, I would have liked it if I could spend maybe like $100, $150, maybe even $200 per month, hiring somebody to stock those things. I think I would have felt a lot better about it. So again, I'm not saying it's a bad investment, guys. I'm just saying consider that there are other you know, expenses that people don't really talk about, and people try to make it seem, oh, it's so easy to stock them. No, it takes time, guys, especially these newer, nicer ones. It takes time, okay? And I personally it's just not what I like to do. It's not like one of those kind of investments I like. For me, real estate makes more sense, even if I have to like be involved, because the, you know, margins are higher in terms of profit. But again, like I'm saying, it's not a bad deal. It just means that you have to really run the numbers, make sure it makes sense for you, and really think about the amount of money that's going into buying the items. That is an expense in itself. And what happened was the stuff that she was buying was cheap. And it was cheap so that she could make a good margin. So when I saw the amount of money that she put in revenue, but then we went and did something different because we were using different items, we were spending more expense-wise, and not bringing in revenue, but we also have a loan. So that means our expenses are higher. And even though we were bringing in about the same amount, our expenses were still higher just because we had better stuff in there, Doritos versus, you know, Utz or whatever, you know what I mean? I know some people like Utz better, but like, you know, not the premium stuff. That doesn't mean that we could sell it for any more expensive. So for any, you know, more money. So that was something to consider. So I think that that's basically, you know, a good synopsis of basically what my experience was. Would I do it again in the future? if I had locations or if I had a really, really good salesperson and I could buy them outright, maybe, or if I had a loan, if they were bringing in enough money, yes, I would do it again. But I wouldn't do it anytime soon. I would do it after, I think that there's other investments that I would take before that. And I would do it after I'm in a certain financial space. It would kind of be like an add-on, like one of my last type of streams of income that I'm looking into. Definitely wouldn't be a first, second, third, or fourth, or fifth, okay? I think that there's tons of other way easier, better money makers than the vending machines personally. And I think that sometimes people are not completely honest about the kind of work that really goes into it, especially if you're planning on doing everything on yourself by yourself. So I hope this helps you guys make a decision about your investment into vending machines. If you have any questions about my experience, please tell me, or if you would like more resources, let me know. Bye.